What's up, y'all? It's T-Tar, and we're gonna be looking at more of y'all's theories, but first, we gotta talk about something. Heath in the Indigo Disc DLC. Now, Heath is a big mystery. He's been shown in the books. He's the only one who truly knows the truth of whether the Paradox Pokemon really were there in Area Zero, or if he made everything up from the start. I'm about to hit y'all with the theory, and in fact, I think this will come true, and it's very bold of me to say because I could be wrong, but we are meeting Heath in the Indigo Disc DLC. So in the Teal Mask, they introduced a concept relating to Area Zero, the Crystal Pool. We talked about this in the most recent video. The Crystal Pool apparently emits the same wavelengths as the crystals in Area Zero. That's their fancy way in-game of saying these are Terra crystals that are in the Crystal Pool, which is why there's terrestrial energy all over Kitakami. So they set up in the first DLC the idea that Terrapagus's energy can allow you to see people who have passed away. So in the last video, one of y'all sent me a theory saying, can we meet Sada and Turo through the Crystal Pool? And the answer to that is yes. We totally can meet them, especially if we hit like a dead end with trying to get below Area Zero as they teased in the trailer. If Arven could somehow get Sada and Turo to appear using the crystals, they could reveal all the secrets and show them how to get there. But I don't think they should be the ones to make use of the setup that we can see dead people. I think it should be Heath, and I'm gonna explain it here. Sada and Turo, we completed their story. I know it sucks Arven never got to say goodbye. They just disappeared a few years ago, and all he really meant was kind of like an after image of who they really were. But that still completed the whole arc and his story with his parents, because at the end of the main game, the AIs glitch and you get to see the human part of Sada and Turo that were like, they were restricted from being able to show. So Arven did get to say goodbye to his parents. And whenever I brought up the idea that maybe his other parent would be alive in Blueberry Academy, this was way before we even knew anything about the games, a part of me felt wrong with that because I know they ended Arven's story with his parents. Sada and Turo's stories are perfect. They were scientists, they were crazy. Whether you want to involve Terrapagus in that or not, scientists go crazy too, of their own accord. They're so crazy, they ended up getting themselves killed when they got in between Koraidon and Miraidon fighting. It's a good ending to them. It's not a good ending, but it's a realistic ending to these crazy scientists because they knew so much, they died in the most basic way possible. Arven got his touching goodbye with them. They disappear forever. It's a good ending. To bring them back for Arven to meet would really mess that ending up as much as we want it. We pretty much have closure across the table and all avenues. Unfortunately, it doesn't fit for them to come back. And if you want further proof that it doesn't sound right Sada and Turo should be in the Indigo Disc, it's in the post game of the main story. The whole story of Arven after you beat the game is him finding himself and moving past after he got closure about his parents' situation. The book is closed on that, and well closed. We're not opening it up again. And so if we have to make use of this crystal pool that allows you to see dead people, the ultimate use of this is not to bring back Sada and Turo at the end of the game, at the climax. It's to bring back Heath. And I'm gonna explain it here. So you see this grin in the key art. You know I love this key art. We got Brier here with this evil grin. A lot of you guys point out it's an evil grin. I don't see it that way, but it does make me suspicious. Not that she's evil, but just what is behind that grin. One, she's witnessing Terrapagus. But imagine, right? Why would Game Freak spoil the climax of the game? That we're in Area Zero with Brier and Carmine and we're fighting Heath against Terrapagus. What if the reason Game Freak spoiled this key art is because this is not the whole cast? What if Heath is also in this final part? Remember, the crystal pool allows you to see someone who's passed away. It's usually someone who you're close to, so a loved one, or someone you're really longing to meet. Who else would Brier conjure up using Terrapagus's crystals? What if half of that grin is Brier's beside Heath in the climax, and Heath and Brier are watching the big Terrapagus battle go down? There's more to this. The ultimate thing Brier would want to see just as much as Terrapagus is Heath. And with how much they set up Heath already in the game, right? They showed us what he looks like. They showed us his cycle is there, and they made him so mysterious. It's perfect to just have him at the end of the game as pretty much temporary alive. So imagine this, right? I got a big theory for this. So you know how Heath wrote in his books that he went very deep into Area Zero, and then he saw this trance And when his crew went and woke him up, the only thing he could remember is that he was in this unfamiliar place and he heard the voice of someone. What if this whole situation with the Brier conjuring up Heath and they get to witness Tropicus together is the vision Heath got? And then he writes about this in his book. I spoke to someone in an unfamiliar place. He was speaking to Brier. And then what does he have? He gets an image drawn of Chaos Tropicus form. What if what Heath wrote about when he put that picture of Tropicus' final form is the modern day events of defeating Tropicus? How else could you explain he just got a vision of not just Tropicus, but final form Tropicus? No one sees final form Tropicus. If right now, if Heath went to Area 0 200 years ago, it's like he gonna see baby Tropicus, or at most, the second form Tropicus. Chaos Tropicus means dude's about to destroy crap. So one very possible way he woke up with the memory of meeting that big Tropicus form is if that memory was actually, in some weird way of how Tropicus' powers work, the future, the modern day, him beside Brier, us, and Carmine, just witnessing the big Tropicus battle. Which means what Kieran does in the modern day is that much more monumental. So his book becomes an unintentional warning of the future by what he witnessed himself. So the other cool thing about mentioning this idea is the fact that this game already has a time theme. Even if it's a red herring and it turns out everything is just imagination, the time theme is still there. Time loops, paradoxes, it's what this game is about. It would be so cool, man, to finish this DLC and meet Heath and then go back and read the book and realize technically when he's writing this book, he already experienced the climax with Kieran and Brier and us in the modern day. And you can see his memory is hazy, right? So he doesn't fully remember what happened, but he knows the gist of it. Y'all, the moment I read you can meet dead people using the crystals, I've been thinking of the ultimate setup to make use of that. There's no better setup than this. I think we meet in Heath in Area 0. Now, there's only one flaw to this idea. It's not necessarily a flaw, but it's... why is Heath writing equations? He's not even a scientist. So while he was in this trance, apparently he woke up and he had these equations. And it's in his own handwriting. So it's not just like he accidentally got some papers from the future. Let me open up that page. Yo, so think about it, right? First off, the legendary treasure. Countless days into our descent, we reached at last the very depths of the Great Crater. Yo, be honest with me. This looks like the Area 0 below, doesn't it? This looks like something we haven't reached yet in the main games. There was a cave with formations of gemstones shining blindingly bright as far as we could see. Nah, dude, this sounds like what the trailer showed us of the deeper Area 0. So Heath already went to somewhere much deeper. Perhaps that strange light itself is the guardian set to watch over the treasure deep within the crater. It is. So look at this, a phantom memory. During our exploration of Area 0's depths, Heath strayed from the team and was later found unconscious. Yo! It's not like if Tropicus conjures you through the crystals that you actually disappear momentarily from the main timeline. Could you imagine? Because it says Heath strayed from the team. What if he didn't actually stray from the team? Like, he got disappeared and appeared in modern day temporarily. And then when they found him unconscious, he came back. When awoken, I could only recall speaking with someone in an unfamiliar place as if in a dream. I freaking want that to be Brier. But then this is when stuff gets weird. I was found holding the page shown here. The handwriting is of my own, but I have no memory of writing this. Yo, why would he write this? So he's got like, this is interesting, y'all. Look, he put a title and he tried writing stuff and scribbled it. He made more errors here. And it does look like, look, this part here, these are equations. And then we've got diagrams and a crown, y'all, like the Tropicus crown. This is the only crap that doesn't make sense. Maybe it could be something like he witnesses the modern day events and he's so entranced that he's trying to kind of like, you know, if you're in a dream so good, you're trying to remember as much of it as possible. So while in the modern day temporarily, he was trying to write down as much information as possible about all these supernatural things he was witnessing. Tropicus, this 19th type dream energy, potential like time travel mechanics. Maybe he just tried to record as many notes as possible from Brier And that's how we ended up with this. But this is the only hole that I can't make sense of. And then there's this page, y'all. A disc Pokemon? Yo, this sounds insane, yo. What if that is modern day Terrapagus? Right there with the crown. Like, you can't see it, but technically behind that is Kieran. That will blow our minds. While separated from the research team in the crater's depths. So look, the same time that he was writing all these equations, it sounds like, I found a strange entity. Whether it was a Pokemon or even alive at all, I don't know. It bore a shell with layers of overlapping hexagons and gleamed brighter than gemstone. Viewed as a whole, it resembled a mysterious, brilliant disc. If he could only recall the modern day events as like a dream, y'all have had dreams before, it would make sense that this fleeting image of Big Terrapagus is all he remembers from it, along with the notes he tried to take. Y'all, nothing would be cooler to me than if this was seriously the case. So that grin, right? Imagine how maniacally happy she'd be to be meeting Heath again and witnessing the exact crap he wrote about. And maybe she realizes in that moment too, part of that grin is, damn, this today is what he wrote about. Another interesting thing to note that might not necessarily be relevant in the key art is that Brier, they have her drawn not facing Terrapagus. It's not like their directions are meaningless. Carmine is made to face Kieran at the top, and we're kind of facing Terrapagus as well. So while everyone's facing inward, why is Brier turned the other way? If there's any meaning to this at all, maybe it's a hint that there's more involving Brier happening in the climax than just Terrapagus. I do think she should have been facing it. Anyhow, I did not think I would take this long to cover this, so I have to go. I will cover your theories later today. So check back in, but let me know your thoughts on this. I'll see y'all later. Take care.